So I'm going to be reviewing some strings for you today. Not just reviewing them, kind of just talking about them a little bit. That's what these videos are. Just me kind of telling people what some certain sets of strings are good for and how they feel and play, kind of that kind of stuff. Just, you know, give a little bit of information about them. So the set we're going to be looking at today is a set of Daddario, or Daddario, however you want to say it. I don't care. Daddario strings. These are EXL148. 12 through 60. They say C tuning on them, so they're specially designed for C tuning to give it a kind of a regular feel, like a 10 through 46 feel, just in C. And they have the gauges are 12, 16, and 20 for the plain strings, 34, 46, and 60 for the wound. So they're pretty heavy strings. When you tune them to C on a 25.5 scale length is what I use, so that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. They do have a light feel. You could get away with C tuning with using them for C tuning on a 24.75 as well. It would just feel a little bit lighter. But first off, I'm going to talk about the first thing I noticed about them, and I've said this in a couple of my other videos about sets of strings, especially these heavier sets designed for down tuning. They always try to give you a plain third, I guess for soloing reasons and stuff. The problem is in my opinion, when you go heavier than an 18 or a 19 gauge plain string, they don't intonate worth a crap, and they feel terrible on your fingers. It feels like you're playing, you know, some kind of form of welding wire or something, like, you know, just something crazy out there. And this has a 20, so it's just slightly over where it should be. Not as bad as some other sets. The Ernie Ball Not Even Slinkies has a plain 24. That thing doesn't hold tune ever. Sounds weird. It has this really weird sound when you play it. You can play a whole chord, and that one string just stands out and sounds weird. But two, it just hurts your finger. And I've been playing guitar for years upon years, and it don't matter. It's just uncomfortable if you use it live. This isn't quite that bad, but it still doesn't hold tune very well, and it is a little uncomfortable. So that's my biggest grievance with this set of strings. Really, that's it, because these are some of my favorite sets of strings right here. I've kept my guitar in C standard for a long time. I just recently actually took it out of C standard, and when I did, I bought another set of strings to try, and I actually tuned it a little bit lower. And I've tuned low as hell before, but I always found like C was the range I liked, that high end of baritone range. But I recently tried another set of strings, and I tuned down to B and B flat, and I liked it. But to me, this set of strings just felt better and sounded better. As far as the balance of the set of strings, it's really well balanced. They did a good job with that. Feels good on the guitar. Could you tune these down to B? Yeah, definitely. A lot of people have asked me that before already, and I've seen a lot of reviews of this and people talking about it. You can tune them down to B, no problem. I wouldn't say much lower than that. Especially if you got a like Gibson scale length, like 24.74, because then they're going to feel even looser. But if you got a Telly or a Fender scale length, then yeah, you're fine going to B. Much lower than that, that'd be more of like a personal taste if you liked it. So to me, I think these sets of string is perfect for C and B standard. And if we're talking drop tuning, I've tried these from drop C all the way down to drop A. They don't do drop A. That low 60 is just not heavy enough. You know, you might like it. That's the thing. These are all my opinions, but just not quite enough tension. It needs to be about a 64, in my opinion, to be a light gauge string for A. So the 60 isn't quite enough for that. And in drop B flat, it would be fine. It would be very light, but it'd be fine. So these, to me, are best in drop B. That's where I would say this set's pretty good. Drop B. Drop C, it's okay, but, you know, the first, not the first strings, but the fourth and fifth strings are pretty heavy for drop C, but not too bad. I mean, most strings that I've seen for drop C usually have like a 44 on the fifth string, so this is only 2 gauges heavier. So you could do drop C, but it would just be a little bit heavier on your hands. So drop B, I think, is a perfect range for these strings if you're doing drop tunings. They break in really fast. I think I put them on my guitar, stretched them about 4 times, maybe 3. It's been a little while since I did that. But they always stretch in good. They last. Never had Daddario strings break on me. I've had DR strings, which I really love, do some weird stuff before, but the Daddarios never have. So yeah, that's the biggest thing about them. And I guess too, if you wanted to put these on a 7 string and then add like a high 10 or something to them, you could definitely do that. That'd be perfect for them. Other than that, guys, that's really all I can say about these things. They're good strings. If you got, you know, a guitar you're just dying to down tune and you want to try C standard or you know, one of the drop tunings I was talking about, give it a try. Feel free to let me know how it works out for you or any questions you have. You know, I do these videos so people can not really just hear me talk about my experiences with the strings, but, you know, just get a little bit of an idea of, hey, maybe look out for this or that. And also what, you know, if you're new to down tuning and you have no idea, I'm just going to kind of give you the ideas of not only my thoughts about it, but what most people say about strings. You know, most people agree that a 10 through 46 is a pretty good set of strings for E standard. You use 9 through 42, it's pretty light. You use heavier than 10 through 46, it's generally a heavy set of strings. So I just go by that basis a lot of times when I talk about strings. That way everybody kind of gets what I'm saying. And these on a 25.5 scale length feel very similar to 10 through 46. They feel just a tiny bit heavier. If you're using a 24.75 scale length, these are going to feel exactly like 10 through 46. Well, of course they have the 46 in them, so they're going to feel a little bit lighter, but very close. Let's put it like that. Very close to what you're used to feeling. Other than that, yeah. Thanks, guys.